Hey, what's going on? I'm Matt O'Leary back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about a couple of different Jamal Adams trade scenarios. Now, just to preface, these are not my ideas. I am taking them from a couple of different websites, from the Seahawks side, the 49ers side, and we're just going to talk about it. I'm going to react to it and so on and so forth. But before we get started today, I just wanted to mention that you can follow me on social media at Matt O'Leary NY. Also, if you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe to the podcast. Call in, leave me your questions, and I'll get to it on the show. So yes, I know, no Jet stuff today. I am going to the beach today, so wearing a nice little beachy shirt, I guess. And I just wanted to get this quick video out before I head out for the day and enjoy the nice weather. Yes, bloggers slash podcasters slash video makers on YouTube have to also go outside sometimes and enjoy the beach, socially distanced, of course, with a mask. Don't worry. On top of that, I just wanted to also throw in here that the background behind me is going to look a little bit different soon. Still in the same spot, just some changes. I don't know if it's going to be coming in time for the podcast tomorrow, but coming very soon. The background's going to look a little bit different as we change, as we evolve, as the channel continues to grow. I will make some changes along the way, and one's coming very, very soon. So just wanted to throw that out there because I've seen it in the comments a few times recently. All right, so let's get into it. Jamal Adams trade scenarios. First is coming from Seahawks Maven, which is an SI site that is Seahawks based. There's 3 from them. I'm going to go through each one, and we'll just talk about it. So trade scenario number 1, the Seahawks trade a first-round pick in 2021, a 2022 second-round pick, a 2021 fourth-round pick, a 2021 fifth-round pick for Jamal Adams, and a Jets 7th-round pick in 2021. So the Jets would be getting 4 picks for Jamal Adams, and the 7th. 7th are usually thrown away anyway. The Jets have moved 7th round picks in the past for, average level players or even sometimes below average level players, but I would do this one. I think the amount of draft picks and draft capital you can get Joe Douglas is only going to help this team. Yes, I would prefer if the New York Jets were able to get a high-end pick and a player, a starting caliber player, of course. But if you're telling me that I can get Joe Douglas 4 swings in the draft, 2 of those swings in the first 2 rounds, I would say, yeah, I'd probably do it because this is a long-term build and you have to build through the draft. Trading for someone who's, 28 years old, I don't know how much that's going to necessarily help. Granted, you could trade for younger players, and we're going to go through some other options here in just a couple of seconds, but ultimately, I think I would do this one for 2 swings in the first 2 rounds over the next 2 years, and a couple of mid-round picks for Jamal Adams and a 7th. Option number 2 is the Seahawks trade 2021 first-round pick, a 2021 fifth-round pick, and safety Marquise Blair for Jamal Adams. Blair has a cap hit under $2 million through 2022. He was a second-round pick in 2019, and he had a Pro Football Focus grade of 78.5, which was the 10th highest graded safety in the league last year. I think the Jets would be able to get by with what they have at safety if they were able to move on from Jamal Adams, but I'm not opposed to this trade offer either. Again, you're getting a first-round pick, you're getting another mid-round pick, and you're getting a top-quality safety. So you're replacing, obviously, he's not Jamal Adams, but you are replacing Jamal Adams with arguably a top 10 to 15 safety in football. I think that's rather interesting. I would definitely do it. I think it's not my preferred option of trading for Jamal Adams. I don't necessarily love the scenarios that we're going to see here from the Seahawks and the 49ers. I like scenarios with the Cowboys a little bit more, and I've seen some other ones that I've liked a little bit better, but this isn't awful, and I would pull the trigger if this was offered to me. The last one I didn't really care for at all. It's the Seahawks trading a 2021 first-round pick, a 2021 third-round pick, and cornerback Trey Flowers to the Jets for Adams and a 2021 sixth-round pick. Now, Flowers has a cap hit of under $1 million over the next 2 years, and he had a 64.1 Pro Football Focus grade in 2018, but this past year was just a 49.5. So I don't necessarily know how much he's actually going to improve the cornerback room for the New York Jets. If anything, I would say he's comparable to like a Quincy Wilson. I wouldn't. This doesn't really move the needle a whole lot for me. I would rather go one of the other 2 routes that we just saw in option 1 or option 2. I don't know. Trey Flowers doesn't really do it for me. Now I have 2 trades from the 49ers that I could talk about, and thank you again from Seahawks Maven for those trade scenarios. If you want to check out the website, it's seahawkmavens.com. This next one's from all 49ers, and they are saying Raheem Mostert, Tart, who is their starting safety, and a first-round pick. I'm all good on this one. Not that Tart is a bad player. He's a fine quality starting safety. He's just on the older side and he struggles to stay healthy. I don't really see why the Jets should be trading for a running back, especially when you have Le'Veon Bell under contract for this year. I know you could potentially move on from him after this year, and I get it, but you also just signed Frank Gore, and you just drafted Michael Pirine this year. I don't necessarily think adding another running back to the room is going to move the needle all that much. I'm going to pass on this one. Yes, I'm getting a first-round pick, which obviously I think should be the starting point, but ultimately here, this doesn't do nearly enough for me. I'm going to say no to this one. The next one, and my final one for today, is from 49ers Web Zone, and it's Tart, Dante Pettis, and a second. Pettis is a former second-round pick at the wide receiver position. He has 576 receiving yards in 2 years. I'm all good, man. I'm all set. Yes, the Jets need to improve at the wide receiver position. There's no denying that, but this is not nearly enough for a player of Jamal Adams' caliber. I mean, come on. Tart is an okay starting safety. No denying that. A second-round pick's a second-round pick, and Pettis, even in a weak New York Jets starting wide receiver group, would be probably the fourth or fifth best wide receiver on the roster. No. This just doesn't make sense from the Jets' perspective. I wouldn't do this one at all. Again, the only ones I'm really interested in that I went over were the first and second options. Again, they're not my favorite of the bunch, but of the options that I have for the Seahawks that I've seen online and for the 49ers, I think these ones tend to make the most sense. Let me know what you think of them in the comments down below. I don't expect you guys to be huge fans of them, but just wanted to put it out there. Just wanted to talk about these trade scenarios because supposedly the Seahawks and 49ers have been heating up in terms of trade talks and what could potentially be offered to the New York Jets from their perspective. Because we could talk all day long what we would want, and usually, sure, the New York Jets fans and people involved with the Jets are probably going to overvalue or have a different value on Jamal Adams that players or fans of other teams rather would have on a player like Jamal Adams, is what I meant to say. And I think that's totally fair. I just don't think the last three trades really have enough value for Jamal. First two, again, I would be comfortable pulling the trigger. Ultimately here, I think from my own personal views, I would rather trade with the Cowboys for a Michael Gallup and a high-end pick, whether it's a first or a second. That's just me. I want to improve the offensive side of the ball and get a real quality wide receiver in here. I think that would help a ton. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Once again, I'm Matt O'Leary. I'll talk to you next time.